Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wack-it Garage. Today I did what none of you asked for me to do. I went on Marketplace, as you do, as I'm sure most of you do, and I came across a pretty good deal on a certain piece of equipment. Now, I haven't told anybody so far because I make a video every maybe season, but I'm now living in Minnesota and my family has a cabin over in Wisconsin. It's about a 2-hour drive, so I've been spending a lot of time over there on the weekends. So while I was over there this weekend, I was looking on Marketplace and I saw what I couldn't really believe was a deal, and now looking at it, I understand exactly why it was such a deal. It's a 19 something, some make, some model, something. I don't know anything about it. I really don't. All I know is that it cost me $0. And I'll flip the camera right around so you can see just what I did. Yeah, I bought a boat. Sorry for the accent, but old mate Kevin kind of got me hooked on that. Yeah, as I said, it's a 19 something boat. If I had to guess, late 50s, early 60s. Comes with a steering wheel, a throttle control, Johnson, allegedly 35 horsepower new. There was a Robin in this bucket. Just kidding, this is my bucket. Anyway, it was sitting out in this guy's backyard and he had it posted on Marketplace for free. And I said, wow, that's a price that I can pay. And so for the whole price of $0, well, I paid him $20 to help me load it up in the truck. And yeah, now it's here. And I'm looking at it going, wow, now I have one. Now, I've always wanted to build a little boat with a big motor just to zip around the lake on, just for fun, because I'm not a huge fisherman. I'm also not a huge skier, water skier or tuber, and we've already got boats for that purpose. But this is something that I can tinker with and also zip around on, just have a good time. Maybe, take a gal out and scare her to death. I don't know. I didn't have a plan. It was free. What can I say? So anyway, I'm going to start looking into it more. I know it's got the hull plate over there. I can look up what the make, model, year, blah, blah, blah is on it. But what I can tell you is it's blue. It used to be red. And there's some blue carpet up there. And there's some buttons. And I like buttons, and I don't like carpet. So I think we'll find a happy medium. It has a light. It has an adjustable light. Wow. Okay. As Kevin says, Angus, stop touching things. You're gonna break it. Don't touch anything unless it's on camera. Wait, we are on camera. Wait. Is this? Oh. Okay. Well, I guess somebody should address that. Oh, it's a whole little hive. Look at him go. I'm sorry, guys. So that's gonna need some work. Thank goodness it's a fiberglass boat, as you can probably tell by the fiberglass shit. It's also part lichen, and it needs all the attention I can give it. So I'll do my best to do that in between this and the other boat that I'm working on in the garage currently. Another garage. Wack-it Garage has now 2 garages. Zing. Yeah, so I'll bring you along as best I can, because YouTubing and video making aren't really my thing. I more just get the itch and go, yeah, I'm gonna do that today. And usually I just zip, get it done, don't want to mess with it, because apparently this whole filming thing takes a lot of time, and I'm not a super patient guy. But I'll do my best. I know none of you asked for this, and now it's being foisted onto your feed if you manage to hit the bell and subscribe. And if you're interested in this, please do the same, just so you can get an update on my little shit show. I'll try and keep it brief, not take up too much of your time, and just give you the gist as I monologue for 3 minutes straight. All right, I think that'll do it for this clip, and done. Use this angle bracket to scrape out the rest of this gunk. really tell, but there's much less trash in the bottom. And by trash, I mean leaf, debris from the pine trees this must have been sitting under. Got a little bit of work left to do, obviously, but I'll probably hit that with a shop vac once it's all dry. As I'm sure you're noticing, there's a buttload of wiring because this was an electric start boat, and it's all dried up and cracked, and the cords are exposed. So I'm gonna have to basically rewire this boat if I want to run it. But I'm gonna keep the harness in one piece just so I know what I'm working with, and hopefully this video will serve as a pretty good reference. Not that I can really see what any of these colors are. You know, it's like gray or gray, but I don't know, keep pecking at it. Okay, quick update. There's a frog. He was in here when I bought him, or bought the boat. Bought the boat, but there, he's back. I thought he was gone, but he's back. Where are you going, little buddy? What you doing? Do a flip. Oh, boy, he's fast. Well, I'm sure I'll find him again. Well, now that I'm thoroughly sweaty, I think it's time to move into the second garage that I have now and take a look at the engine. Here it is, all laid out with all the tools I'm going to need to fix it. I've got the hammer, my other hammer, a little hammer. So what we're looking at is a 35 horsepower Johnson, and this is the only thing I've done research on so far. I haven't checked into the boat because I don't care. This has me more interested. This was worth the $20 to load itself. Turns out it's a 1957 Johnson, and it's the highest trim level engine that they produced that year. I believe they nicknamed it the Javelin, and I'm pretty sure this camera isn't doing it justice, but this cowl is like 2 feet long. It's 2 feet long. I've got 2 feet, and it's that long. Not, oh, I wasn't kidding. It's 2 feet. Look at it. Yeah, it's a long engine. So, yeah, this was probably quite the scooter back when it ran good on that boat, at least. You know, 14-foot fiberglass boat with a 35 horsepower motor. She got around fine. She wasn't going to set any top speed records. In fact, Kevin sent me a message today. He said he found another boat in Ames, and it was a 14-foot runabout like mine, in much better shape, with an 85 horsepower Johnson on it. So yeah, the grass is always green, I guess. But they wanted a number of monies for it, and I gave no monies. So I win, I guess. So if you don't know anything about boats or outboard motors, that's the propeller. You can tell by the way it is. Up here is the engine, carburetor, crankcase, thingy, flywheel, blah, blah, blah. What we're looking at is a 2-cylinder, horizontally mounted. It's kind of like an under-over shotgun. You know, cylinder on bottom, cylinder on top. Crankshaft goes straight down, all the way down to the final drive, which is basically a ring and pinion, just like you have in your car, truck, or SUV. Here's your mounting plate, rebolted to the transom. In this case, it's got 2 set screws that just tighten it down instead. I really love these older outboards because they're a lot more fun to tune with. You know, you can get them just ideal. Here's the choke, pull it out to choke, also to stop. Here's your slow speed mixture screw setter, you know, because that's something you need. I'm used to having carburetors that you just set it and you go. So this can be adjusted for pretty much any weather, any day you're out. You know, if you go out on a cold morning and then you park all day out on the lake, that's not the right term, but we're gonna move on. You know, you have it richened up for the morning. You get out and, you know, warms up another 20 degrees. You can lean it back out if you want to, or you can richen it up, depending on which. I'm not really thinking right now. I'm just spouting words. And then it's also got a high-speed mixture adjustment screw. So basically, Luke Finley would be having a fit right now. He'd be not paying attention to where he's going and just fiddling with these to get the ideal mixture, which I respect that, but I'm not going to do that. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with on the motor. I'm pretty excited to start tinkering with this. I've already done a few small things, real basic, nothing too complicated. The pull cord was bound up and I was afraid that the recoil mechanism was busted, but it wasn't. There's a rubber shroud. It's a heavy motor. By the way, it has compression. Come here. It has this rubber shroud over the rope, and from that point on in, there was more rubber shroud, but it was actually getting up into the spool and just stopping it up. So peeled that off real nice and easy, and whoop-de-doo, it goes. Pulled the plugs, they didn't look rusty, there wasn't any water in it, so it's a really good sign. It doesn't hurt that it's a 2-stroke, so there's already oil everywhere inside there, but also gas, so it's you get what you get. This starter motor, the engagement gear, my technical terms are leaving me, but you get the point. It was actually stuck in the engaged position. It was free from the flywheel. They weren't binding or anything, but whenever you turn the flywheel, this was turning. And so I couldn't get it to go back, and of course I don't have any PB Blaster or WD-40 on me. I'm not sponsored or anything, so I don't know why I keep using the actual names. But I used some motorcycle oil, and regretfully I used brand new motorcycle oil. And even worse, I used fairly good $10 motorcycle oil. So I only needed a quart. So yeah, I'm just gonna move on. But that's all I've done to this thing so far. As you can see, it's got some dirty bits. There's some tree residue and stuff. You should be able to see through there, but there's a bunch of pine needles in there. Also up under, everywhere, in between. I'm not really pointing at any, I'm just looking with my eyes. You are suffering. Yeah, there's some down there. Anyway, I basically got to blow it all apart just to get those out of there so it doesn't catch on fucking fire the first time we run it. This big thing on the front, you might be wondering, that's the airbox. I don't know if there's a filter. I don't know anything about it. All I know is the year and who made it. So that'll be fun. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that. I don't know. There's not a lot of boat guys out there on the internet, but maybe you just offhandedly would be like, oh yeah, this is cool. So we'll do a quick video on that, just to tear down and throw back together. I'm not gonna rebuild this thing or anything until I know that it runs, even if it runs like hell. After that, I might look into freshening it up a little more. It's probably gonna need a tune-up, carb kit, definitely plug wires. I know that for a fact, because this is part of one. Yet, it's not this short. So yeah, that's another Angus don't touch it, you're not on camera moments, but we'll get there. It's got some sort of weird auxiliary injector system. It's like a straight up double injector, and it's activated by this rod, which I'll get you a better picture of later when I get it on a stand. But this rod is activated by this cam follower, and there's cam grooves inside the upper flywheel, so that when you pull the recoil, it moves from outside to inside to inside to outside, and I did that backwards, but whatever, it moves inside to outside, back and forth, like a camshaft, and I can only assume it straight injects fuel or oil into the cylinder. I don't know. I don't know if that's for startup or if that's all the time and it's oil injected. I don't know, because I've never seen these type of cylinder heads before. They almost look like valve covers, because this straight white part is the cylinder head, if I'm not mistaken. Because 2-stroke, the air comes in here, mixed with the fuel and the oil, goes through the crankcase first, and then has to make its way through some holes in the side of the cylinder. So valves? Question mark? I don't know. This is new. It's literally 40 years before my time. 57, 97. Do the math. Maybe I did it wrong. Please do the math. Somebody tell me. But yeah, so this will be interesting, to say the least. I would really like it to run. because I think that's just cooler than heck. So I think that just about does it. We'll ignore this giant banana in my garage. Okay, two giant bananas. I'm working on two boats at once. This one here was actually my dad's. It's a 74 or 75 Hobie 16 catamaran sailboat. I've only got the hulls here because a tree fell on that one last year and punched a hole through it. And I did a quick patch job on it. Did a really terrible patch job on it. In fact, there's insulation foam in there. It was so bad for structure. And it says specifically on the box, do not use this for structural purposes. Anyway, it was all fine. Took it out, me and some friends, we went out on the lake. We were having a good time. Went to make a tack, which is turning upwind for those of you who aren't familiar with anything about sailing, which is starting to sound like I'm not either. But I noticed that this side of the boat, which would be the driver's side in the car or the port side on any other boat, when I made the turn, this whole section was underwater up to the bottom of the trampoline, which sits on top of these two posts here. And so I looked back there, it was underwater. I'm like, oh no, it's a submarine. And so me and the three other people on the boat were all like, ah, yes, we're going to die. So we pulled it in as soon as we could. Come to find out, when I pulled it up on the bank, it's a fairly steep bank. Turns out the two-piece hull has separated. Right here is where the seam is, and you can just see it. And it runs about 4 feet that way on the well, I guess that'd be the inside, and a couple inches here on the outside. So I knew this one needed some work, and I figured while I had them off, I might as well sand them down, fix all the cracks, because these boats are, well, they're meant to land on beaches, so they get a lot of wear and tear on the bottom edge. So I figured while they were off, I'd do both of them. This one was in actually really good shape, so it's taken me less time. I didn't want to touch this one yet because I'm mad at you, bad. But yeah, that's a whole nother project. But yeah, I think that'll do that for this long-winded episode, of which nobody asked. Yeah. So once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and check back for another video, I guess. Maybe I'll do it this time. Maybe I won't. I'll find out.